everybody, welcome to the live stream. Hey everyone, welcome to the live stream. Perfect. It's working on here. Let's see if it's working on the other stuff. So today we're going to focus on talking about Menglong and the craziness around it, because we do have some important updates on this particular case. And it has to do with, well, the shocking details that we've kind of followed up with in the few days since we last did our stream on. There's more stuff coming out day by day, and I think a lot of this requires a lot of analysis on, which is why we're doing this live stream. But thanks for continuing to show your support with regards to the case with Menglong. It is very important that people are, obviously paying attention to this. I think also it speaks volume to the attention that people are putting onto this case, like, with how many things going on in the world with regards to China, and also with regards to, the censorship around it. The case is with Menglong, is a Chinese celebrity that recently apparently fell from a 5th floor of an apartment building in Beijing. But the details suggest that he probably did not fall, but rather he was murdered. So if you haven't seen some of the videos I've done on this, make sure to go and check those videos out. But you can still watch today's live stream, because I think this is it's a very good summary of what happened. We also have details from the friends of his family. So let's start with that. Now, this is posted onto Threads, which are Thread. Is it Thread or Threads? Threads.com. And it comes from a user named R1988 Long, meaning Menglong, and 1988 is the year he was born. Now, it's in Chinese, and it like the person claims to be the friends of the family of Menglong. So I'll put it into translation and we can read it together. The issue is there's a lot of different sources of information out there. Some of them true, some of them not. So it's really hard to decipher and tell. Super Sandwich, thanks for becoming a member of China Insider. Much appreciated. Yeah, so we have to be very careful with the stuff around this case, like, because it's very difficult to get a great sense of who is saying the truth, who is deliberately causing a lot of misinformation to spread, and why are they doing it. So the issue with this one is that they've posted private photos of Menglong. You can see here with his mother. So that's Yu when he was younger with his mother. And this was their supporting evidence that they are in fact, close relatives and friends of Menglong. And he even has family gathering dinner photos with Yu here. Menglong is here, and then the mother is here as well. So this person seems legit. But again, like, you have to question everything with regarding to this case, because there's just so much information. So I'm just going to attempt to analyze this based on what I know. It might not be the 100% of what is going on. Perhaps we would never understand fully what's going on. But it's through these circumstantial evidence that we start to paint a picture. So let me put this again. Why is it not in English? I thought it was translated. Can you not translate this anymore? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, translation. I'll read it to you guys, and you can see for yourself if you think this is real or not. It says, I am a friend of Yu's family. I can't bear to hear him and me say so many days of sadness and depression. Simply self-evident. Here are the photos of Yu Jing. It should be Yu Menglong with his mother when he was a child. I don't know why the translation is so bad. Actually, you know what? Let me just translate myself, because this translation is terrible. Let me just translate it for you myself because this is impossible to read. Okay, so here it reads. I am a friend of Yu's family members. Hearing that so many days the family member of Yu had been saying to me how sad and depressed he has been. I cannot endure that anymore. So now I'm providing a just simple evidence to support the fact that here we see Yu when he was younger with photos with his mother. And a few years ago, when Yu returned to his family home, and these are the photos that you cannot see anywhere else. So when you ask me why I have these photos, it's because I am the friend of his family. Okay, so this just describes the fact that he legitimizes himself as the family friend of Yu. Okay, so why am I taking the risk to speak here? It's because I think a lot of information needs to be spread around, needs to be heard, but they themselves, meaning the family of Yu Menglong, doesn't have a way to do so. And his family members have been censored on Weibo to the point of, and also on Xiaohongshu, meaning Red Note, to the point of everything they send is being immediately censored. And then you guys can see what happens with other platforms as well. So essentially he's saying like the situation doesn't allow his family members to speak out on their own, and hence why he's putting this onto foreign websites like Threads, whatnot. Okay, so now the next part is I have to reveal some people who pretends like nothing happened, what their real faces are like, meaning what their real identities like. Uh, the the relatives and the police all know that you guys were there that night, and you guys are using your relatives to keep mouths shut and to be running around freely for these days. First person they mention is Song Yiren. Song Yiren is a primary sort of culprit in this whole situation. So Song Yiren is let me just show you here. Song Yiren is the girl that people thought was dating Yu Menglong, but it turns out was probably grooming Yu Menglong to join this type of like Harvey Weinstein type of situation in China. And apparently, again, this is unconfirmed information. So just I'm saying this because it kind of fits the context, but a lot of information suggests that she was kind of like pimping out male stars to these powerful CCP officials who are into that. And she had this she was almost like they're making it sound like she was the female Epstein of China for male stars, essentially. That's what the information is making her out to be. Now obviously she's kept silent since all this has happened, and there's a lot of accusations leveled against her. In particular, this post here, the first person that they mention is Song Yiren. So Song Yiren is a primary sort of target, which if you look at the photos, like Song Yiren knows a lot of the same people that are now being accused of you know, getting Yu to this place, and she's friends with those people. So she's like by any means to distance herself. She has not been clear on that, or try to seem like she wasn't in there in that group that night. So she didn't really make an effort to come out and clarify. And in fact, none of these people have come out to clarify. For I think partly for one reason is because they don't want to make things more riled up than it already is. So that's enough to prosecute. Those live clips and audios do not lie. Yeah, so you're right, because anyone that hears it is gonna be like, dude, look, like that sounds like his voice, man. Like, you know. True. More like Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a better comparison. Uh so Song Yan is the first person being mentioned here. Says that night there were two parties, two different parties. Okay, so not the first, not just the one where the 17 people were at, but there seems to have been two parties. This is an important detail that will come back later. Okay, so two parties. You were there for both that night. How dare you to uh pretend with a face to say that you had just known about it that morning, pretending like you were innocent. The second person is Ji Guangguang. So Ji Guangguang is another figure that's in this case. Okay, so there's other people. That's a great photo to show. So Ji Guangguang. So there's some. Why is it not loading? Maybe we could go to the Facebook post. Let's see. Where's that photo? Is it here? Nope. Let me go back. Find a photo. Oh yeah, this is a really good one too. Okay, so this one is pretty good too. Okay, so Ji Guangguang is this guy up here on the top right. He is a TV writer for Chinese dramas. Down here on the bottom, you see that this is Ji Guangguang, the second guy being mentioned. This is the first girl being mentioned, Song Yiren. They know each other. They're very close. And this is also Song Yiren with another guy, the third guy. I call him C. I call this guy G, and this is S, Song Yiren. So S, G, and C, they're very close with each other. And this is the apartment building where Yu Menglong, fell that night. Okay, so the second person mentioned, Ji Guangguang. Okay, so again, some refreshers on the details. The two Rolexes found in Yu's pocket after he passed away belonged to Ji Guangguang. The apartment that this all happened at belonged to Ji Guangguang. And then also the many cases of I guess you would say the circle where things happen, like in the entertainment industry. Ji Guangguang seems to be the guy that is behind it all, that we can kind of think of. The reason is Ji Guangguang is an offspring of a former CCP official named Li Peng. Li Peng famously was very for pro crackdown on the Tiananmen Square students in 1989 as well. And Ji Guangguang's real name is Li Ming. So Li and Li. And they found photos of him, which actually, if I can find it, I will show you later. But they found photos of him, like a family photo with Li Peng. So that seems to be the connection there, because he's untouchable. Like there hasn't been any, any chance of anybody here being prosecuted. Let's just say that. Because you need an umbrella, because the whole thing with how the CCP works is it provides a shield, right, in the form of an umbrella. There's no rainwater that will catch onto you because the umbrella is so big. It's so massive. Actually, we started late, so chat, just if you're in right now, you're actually on time. Clear some of the psyops. CCP agents spliced clips of some of the accused guilty together, probably to try to blackmail each other and other actors to stay silent or complying. That could be a possibility. But these photos, you can find them on Instagram and Chinese media. So, are you black? Do I look black? Okay, let's continue. Now, let's go back to the third person, which is Zhao Manqi. Zhao Wanqi. So Zhao Wanqi is again, I need to find these photos because they're like it's very hard to find the photos of this, but I'll try to see if I can find one on X to show you who they are. Because I don't want to show you, because like on X and stuff like that, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So let's see if I can find one here. What he looks like. But anyways, he was there that night. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the one. So this guy is Zhao Wanqi. People from the reflection of his glasses believe that this was the scene of the party. This was the scene. This is Yu Menglong in the middle there, and this was the scene of the party where you see clearly, you see figures here, right? You see that there's some people in the reflection of the sunglasses. Um, and people believe that they're dragging someone here. You see how there seems to be sort of like a not a horizontal, but like a diagonal figure kind of thing there. I guess it would be like this side for you guys. Like about here. So if I zoom in more, I don't know if you can. Oh, it doesn't let me zoom in. Sad. Maybe I can zoom in on here. See if you can see it. Let me zoom in here. There we go. Okay, so you see how there's like a little figure kind of looking thing, stick looking thing here. And it seems like these people are carrying it. And in this photo, you see, so, oh, sorry, no, this is not Yu Menglong. This is not Yu Menglong. They believe that this is Yu Menglong. This is somebody else, but this is the party, because you see that that's the window there, right? And then whatever happened here, something is it's interesting, and something is going on. So people believe that that's the case. Anyways, this is the guy that was there that night. Now scale. How do I go back to transform? Reset transform. Okay. There we go. Okay. Reset transform. Okay. All right. So that's the third person there that night. Says, okay, sorry, I didn't read this part yet. So Ji Guangguang, people fell from your house, so meaning Yu Menglong, and then you don't explain it, but you immediately go offline and you run away. You're pretty good at running. And then says Zhao Wanqi, you cannot hide either. When the person passed away, you were there. The clothes covering him, you also covered him with. You covered him with your clothes, and then now you can pretend to be a person to go attend some events or activities. Seems like you have a lot of free time. So it says, now that I've clearly explained to everyone that these infos are true, you guys should not be so stern with your speech. And for others that have attended that night, other than trying to bully the family members, what else can you do? Says that the law will eventually catch you. Eventually you guys will show your true colors. Seems like people were taking videos and photos. Yeah, so I'm sure somewhere there are photographic and video evidence of that night. It's just whether or not we'll get our hands on it, which I think, yeah, I really don't think so. Late to the stream, what's happening? We're explaining some of the newer details on the Yu Menglong case. So overall, the impression I got from this article or this post on Thread is that this, I would say at this point, I would say it's 80% possible. The reason I say that is because, look, this came out, today is November 1st, right? Yeah, November 1st. So today is November 1st. We are almost 2 months when it happened. So almost 2 months since September 11th when it happened. If this was the real case of you know, a family member talking, I would assume if they really wanted this to get out, I would have assumed that this would have come out last month. So that's why I'm still kind of sus about this post, simply because I think I'm not saying that the details don't line up, because if you really look at the details, these are the main people that people have like been investigating, right? These are the main people, and you got the photos to back up your claim. You know, you claim you know who this family is. That's Yu Menglong right there. You guys know exactly the details of this. Like you know, the story lines up. But I still can't help but think that we just can't take everything without a grain of salt, because it's such a big messy situation now. Just because you come out with something doesn't mean we should fully trust it. And plus, this entire read doesn't really provide us with any new progression on the case. Rather, it only confirmed our existing hypotheses, if that makes sense. So I'm not discrediting this as something fake, but I am saying that, you know, this is not moving us further in where we are. So, great question from Deskuga. Any updates on his mother? From the sources that I can hear or see, they are safe. So the uncle and the mother of Yu Menglong, they're both safe. They are being, you know, told to be quiet. That's for sure. It's a shame because everything is muddled. Would we even know the truth if it came out? I think, well, truth in this sense is kind of subjective, because you will never, like you said, you will never know it's the faux truth because we will never see the truth. And that goes with everything in China. Excuse me. Nobody really knows what the truth is. You can only take an educated guess just based on what you know. And eventually there are things that confirm it. But at the end of the day, like, this isn't, you will never get to the full objective truth. Maybe they went into hiding. I think they weren't hiding, but they were definitely told not to speak out. What is your breed? What do you mean what my breed is? I'm gonna put you in timeout, bruh. David, you should ban my, yeah. No, I had a chatbot on, but I don't know what happened to the chatbot. The anchor from Thread did not mention Fan Shiqi. That's a big issue. If I am Yu Menglong's mom, I should know that Fan Shiqi has been friend with my son for over 10 years. I would be very angry. Exactly. So that's a really good point, actually. There's a lot of people they didn't mention. How about who was Yu Menglong's rumored girlfriend? Was that lady that I talked about in our last stream, Kan Xin? Or is it somebody else? You know, like, I'm sure if you had been dating someone since 2021, secretly or not, your mother should know. If they're safe, how can it be that they are made to be quiet? No one has to stay quiet. So that's the issue with China, is if you want to be quiet, if you want to be safe, you have to be quiet. That's how it works. China has a lot of Epstein. China is a huge circle of Epsteins, man. Actually, I would say it's more like Harvey Weinstein. Well, maybe a combination of both. Weinstein, more like maybe Jeffrey Weinstein or Harvey Weinstein. No, Harvey Epstein. Anyways, it's a combination of the two. Because so a lot of the female stars, they obviously get, you know, the Weinstein treatment. Now it seems like the whole male star side, it's like the Epstein one. Yeah. In the left eye, glasses looking straight on looks like a thin, bony body laying with mouth open and knees, legs bent up. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so that's just the first piece of the evidence. Okay, now, so we have somebody inside China. His name is Ling Beifang. Ling Beitruan, sorry, Ling Beitruan. He's a former PLA soldier, retired, and is actively voicing his concern for Yu Menglong in China. And he's been like in and out of the police station a lot. So this guy, I think it's the fact that he's brave enough to come out to say those things while inside China means that this guy probably, why can I not find his Weibo account? I want to see his Weibo. Maybe if I go on Weibo. But he's inside China and he's a former military soldier, and he has dedicated his time. Yeah, I can't get on Weibo. Okay. So or is it? Okay, so we just have to read it from here then. All right, so in this post, what's being said is, by the way, that guy is in Beijing, so he has, I don't know how he's doing this, but maybe he's also untouchable. Because if you come from the PLA, and you're openly doing this, chances are you probably got a strong background too. So right now, I actually think this is very interesting because right now there's a split on the power between the PLA and the Chinese part, like the Communist Party, because of the different separation of power that I talked about with like Xi Jinping and Zhang Yuxia. So the political system and the military system are actually split. So it would make sense for this guy to be able to do this using his military background. So if that is the case, then this is it's a plausible theory. Because I don't see any other ways for somebody to speak out about Yu Menglong inside China and not be banned or be jailed or disappeared. Okay, so first question he raises about this so-called family friend, it's that Threads as a whole isn't in the forefront of like attention and views for any sort of a social media space, right? X, Facebook, Instagram, all much higher in that sense. So then Li Ming comes out to appear like, okay, so now they're talking about some stuff with regards to the threat users, which I won't go into because it's a whole drama thing. And then a lot of people are supporting this other user, blah 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 blah. People inside China had learned about this post, and then they started to ask the cousin and family members of Yu Menglong. And then what he replied was, don't ask him about the stuff outside of his village. That's kind of weird. I don't know what that really means. A day later, Bilibili, which is a Chinese YouTube, suddenly appeared with lots of new accounts, started to try to find information on the cousin of Yu Menglong, and then many started to claim that this cousin blah 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 is not a real hero or something. It's kind of confusing to me. I don't really know what they're trying to say. I think overall they're just saying that don't trust this article too much. This one here. But in my opinion, I think we still should, simply because they have this photo. Now, where could they have obtained this photo? That's another question. Could have gotten it from Yu Menglong's phone, his mobile device, because I'm sure they got a hold of his device. And so if they wanted to pretend like things are going a certain way, they could do this, right? That this could be faked if they just gotten it from his phone. How can the international fans get help with Alan's case? Is signing a vase can get him justice? I think you can try, and you can also keep attention, keep the exposure of this case. And I think while we won't be able to get to the final answer, we will still put pressure, because I think at some point this has reached the CCP, the higher ups, and they clearly are using this case to talk about political power and who gets to control what. So this does have impact on the higher ups, which I think is very effective. Okay, so our next screenshot, this is one where I obtained from a colleague. It is from Chinese social media Douyin, and this was quickly deleted, so you won't find this video anymore. But this is what it reads. Okay, I'll do a rough translation because it's very graphic. And be aware of what I'm about to say is very graphic. It is about what took place that night. So if you can't handle this stuff, just just turn off the audio or whatnot. But here it goes. Okay, so with regards to the body, just how cruel is too cruel? According to internet rumors, it's still not as much as what I know in terms of the accurate description of what happened to the body. Because I had known pretty early, I was very consistent and persistent in my beliefs. So what hasn't changed is me. Hitting and torture, those are worth nothing. What they'd done was control Yu. So fish means Yu Menglong because his last name Yu sounds like fish in Chinese, which is Yu as well. So it's a homonym. Okay, so that's what they use, emoji for fish, to describe Yu Menglong. So first, they had already controlled Yu Menglong early. I don't know what SSST means, but everything else here, he was still alive. Okay, disfigured. Face was, I guess you would say, smashed. Nails pulled, teeth pulled, hair ripped with skin. Down there ripped. So just a lot of ripping. Fractures. A lot of organs. Because they want this for a human plastination. The rest sold to the dark web. And you can imagine what's being done there. So anyways, yeah, I don't want to get like this stream taken or demonetized, so I'm just gonna, I hope that was enough details. You can think of the rest, but that's what was said there. Now again, these kind of things, once you post it on Chinese social media, it immediately gets deleted. There's no chance that you can really see it other than when you encounter it because of the algorithm at the time. So I'm not saying that this guy is 100% telling the truth, but again, it's like one of those things where if you follow up on what he said, some of it has already been discovered to be at least plausible, right? So, which that brings me to the point where I was mentioning how, you remember the letter said there was two parties that night. There was one where eventually we know that he fell, allegedly, again. Not really, but it seems like there was another party. But what some people have been theorizing is that it actually happened before that night. But that whole party itself was simply a cover-up, meaning that whoever attended that party that night, you had already passed before that night. It could already have happened on the 9th or the 10th or even the 8th, a few days before that. But they had to use a special event to cover it up, to make it seem like that this was an accident. Is it true that his girlfriend was a mole? Well, there's a belief right now, which I covered in one of the streams, that his girlfriend is a longtime mole. I read that post. I can read Chinese. I felt heartbroken again and cry. Yeah, it's such a thing. Like, the colleague that I spoke to said he almost cursed out, and he's like a very, very calm guy, and he heard that and he was just, it's, I'm sure not everything is true, but then also knowing the fact that what he went through all these years, seeing the photos of him not having his molars, it's really like, there's some unimaginable stuff happening out in the world, man. Who was his girlfriend? So his rumored girlfriend's name was Kan Xin, a Chinese actress. I can type it in chat. Kan Xin. I'll type it in the other chat as well. Dude, just imagine like all the crazy stuff that we used to think were fake, like forced organ harvesting, right? Like, we thought that like nothing like that could happen. There's no way that they're literally, like, even the Nazi concentration camps. Like, how many, if you had lived in the 1940s or the 1930s, would you have believed when somebody told you that they're literally racking up millions and putting them into a place where they get, this extreme form of punishment? Like, nobody at the time would have been like, yeah, dude, I totally believe you. I don't need any evidence to show me that this is happening. What's truly shocking is that this stuff isn't solely a Chinese problem. It's happening all around the world, dude. So I think that's a huge distinction we have to make, which is that you can say all the conspiracies you want, but like, I don't believe that any government is officially sanctioning or involved in behaviors like this, except for the CCP. And the reason I say this is because remember, she told Putin that they can live till they're 150. Do you think that she only offers these longevity services to his own CCP officials? Probably not. Like, the people that Xi Jinping allies with, or the CCP allies with, all those, terrorist organizations, if their top leadership needed an organ, they can come to China and they can get one too. Like, it's not something that's just exclusive to the CCP. But they're sourcing those organs within China. And that's the scary thing, is that regular folks, like in China, you don't even know that you're a target until you suddenly feel like, hey, I no longer exist in this world because my blood type or my tissue type was compatible with some top official. So, and one of the darkest things about the whole Uyghur side too, because so forced organ harvesting really started with Falun Gong practitioners, and this is back in like 2004, 2005. Because those people, they had healthy organs, they don't drink, smoke, or do drugs, so their kidneys, their livers are healthy. And then later they extended to the Uyghurs because guess what? It's they're Muslims, so I think there's some religious needs for certain groups of people, right? Okay, now the next coverage on this is the video that Chinese internet users made this with AI, but I think it's a very good representation of the entire Yu Menglong case from a very macro, like top-down perspective. So I will kind of explain everything. All of the references in this AI video is actually makes sense. So, some people don't like AI, but I think in this case, it does a great job at explaining this case, okay? So in the beginning shot, you have this huge umbrella, then you have different layers of smaller umbrellas, but they're still, relatively to this figure down here, they're still massive. This is Yu Menglong. Now, what these umbrellas stand for is they're the large crime syndicates or crime networks, or the umbrellas that protect those crimes from taking place, right? So up at the top, you have the entire CCP structure. The case isn't complicated. Many rumors there, but I believe we can get justice for our angel. I hope so too. It's true that these kind of gangster crime is widespread in the world, but the difference is the extent. People that, unlike us who read Chinese news daily, cannot understand why we emphasize that. Hey, Dave, good afternoon from South Africa. What did I miss? We're just talking about the latest updates on Yu Menglong. Thanks for joining us, Muso. BB, diplomacy, that's why we don't give DNA. Dude, honestly, in China, you know what the crazy thing is? Like, everything requires an app now. You take a blood pressure, you need an app to hook up to that device. You do anything. Like, you want to get your, go on the train, they take your facial data. All your hospital data is shared in a national index for, like, a health registry. I heard his body was found. My question is, who's in possession of his body? Some rumors suggest it's inside a museum. It's being plastinated, like turned into like a wax figure kind of thing. But again, it's you can't confirm that. Okay, so in this video, I'll play it. So again, there's layers of umbrellas, and then the thing is, when you discover one, you see more umbrellas. You see they're all connected. And nobody is there to protect, because it when it rains, it's not like it rains in the sense that, like, whoa, everything else is without the umbrella is protected, but it's the fact that when you have it rain, the big one shields everything underneath. Then any little trickle down droplets gets shielded or gets protected by the smaller umbrellas. So by the time when it reaches the actual victim, there is nothing left. There's not a single drop of rain that can touch that victim. Rain obviously being the sense of like justice, right? So Yu Menglong, they used a lot of his like drama characters to create this AI. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's a very Chinese influenced take on this. Now here it mentions those bad actors thinking that due to time and due to the cold approach from the heavenly court. So Tenting is like the heavens, like the Chinese heavens, basically. Now, usually, this is where they like the CCP culture twist a lot of the stuff, right? Usually, Tianting, the heavenly courts, where like the heaven emperors, the all the cool people like Nezha, like Erlangshen, like all these people, like all the deities live, right? They always portray that the heavenly courts is corrupt, it's unjust. So in that sense, they're using that court in this way as the reference to the CCP. And they're saying that we might forget with time. We thought they will think that we were just one of his believers, but many of us are just regular folks who are not being cared for by the I guess you would say the the CCP. So here it's more speaking to the fans of Yu Menglong and those who are caring for his case. It's not, I think this is pretty true. It's not that we're focused on finding just about Yu Menglong. While that's important, it's also this desire to stop what could possibly happen to the next celebrity or the next regular person. And that's, I think, a lot of people's eventual goal is to stop this thing overall, right? Like, it shouldn't have happened to one. It shouldn't have happened to more. It should not. It should stop.
是我们赖以生存的这方天地需保有基本的秩序、公正与不容玷污的信仰。所以，当我们的呼声越来越高，行动越来越密，他们开始恐慌了，魔爪伸向各处，疯狂销毁罪证。
I think then later on it just goes to talk about how, like, people are just destroying the evidence and whatnot. So that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, okay. So I don't know if you guys have seen these photos from. They've been out for a while. They've been out for many days now. So I don't think it's necessarily new stuff, but I thought to look back at it. Is there any further evidence or information about the other actors who fell out of windows drunk? Personally, I think those are probably also related cases as well to like what happened to Yu Menglong. It feels like his passing woke something up in the world. I think it did, man. Like, I think a lot of people, especially those, like, I don't mean to be like sexist or anything, but I think a lot of girls who don't care about politics or didn't care about this kind of stuff suddenly became interested in how China works because they might have been, just some entertainment fans, some invested C-drama fans that were essentially forced to, because like with girls, like, you don't necessarily care that much about politics to begin with, let alone like complicated stuff, right? But when your favorite actor or even just dramas that you were really into or you've come across this person, when they pique their interest, like they really go down a rabbit hole. My wife is like that too. She doesn't care about politics, but once she finds something that she's like, wow, this is crazy, she goes down a rabbit hole. So I think, to the credit of the female fans, they've really been the main driving force behind this. They're much more in tune with the entertainment stuff. Like, for me, there's some stuff I just simply didn't care. Like, I don't care who this actress was or that actor was. Like, it doesn't appeal to me. So in that sense, I'm at a disadvantage in terms of talking about this because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know who that is. I have to go find out who that is or who this person is. But these girls, like, they know off the top of their head. I'm like, this guy is this, that guy is that. He did this one or she did that one. So it's like, whoa, that's crazy. Okay, anyways, so with these photos, I'm like, what is he doing here? He's got a blue fish, and he's trying to like hook it with a fishing rod. So it's in Chinese fishing is called 钓鱼, right? Or you can say hanging. Hanging. 钓 also means hanging. Hanging fish. Fish meaning yu Menglong, and yu again the fish, and the yu is a homonym. There's also the like what's it called? Advertisement or TV ads for, excuse me, an exhibit has all of these red string hanging fishes. Again, similar sort of symbolism. This one is crazier. You got a fish on a piece of stone block, fish on a chopping block, person clearly wearing a suit, so a male, tied with red strings. And then this was at one of the museums, Chihao Museum, which is in the Bulgari Hotel in Beijing, and they had a giant fish. So when these 4 photos came out, I was like, that's just a coincidence. There's no way that this is happening, you know? But now looking back at it, there's a theory that was developed where basically they think that Yu has been a target of a deliberate setup for a very long time. It wasn't just like a sudden thing that happened that night. Netflix Forum says, do you think a Chinese or Taiwanese drama could be made critiquing the whole situation of Chinese actors, or would no one want to risk acting in it? So if you did one of those, the chance of you passing the inspection at the Film Industry Bureau, like the bureau that oversees all production, because before you can release a new TV series in China, you have to go through the examination. Like they literally minute by minute, frame by frame, watch your entire show to figure out if your show has these hidden sensitivity in it. If so, the chance of it passing, be allowed to go on market, is very low. Yu Malone was mostly a supporting role actor, except in web dramas where he might have a leading role. Exactly. So that was the issue with a lot of the attention, is many people didn't even know who he was in the beginning, and so they're like, why would this guy be killed for something, you know? And then I guess that became the source of curiosity. Can I ask, as a Western foreigner, are certain parts of China viable to move to, or is the whole country under the umbrella? If you're just going there for like vacation for a week or two, I think it's totally fine. But if you're living there a long time, and especially once you learn the language, you'll start to see that whole of China, it's really pretty much the same. Thank you for talking about Yu Malone. This young guy screaming still haunted me. Justice for Yu Malone. Yeah. I yeah, it's pretty, that video is very very crazy. I meant even releasing drama in Taiwan with the actors or actresses. Yeah, I would say so. It's very controversial. I I think like if Netflix did a documentary on this, that might be interesting. David, don't trust that account. I know. I said it, like you shouldn't fully trust that account because there's still some stuff that's very much missing. Why did the police investigate museum yet? This is crazy. Well, the museum is like kind of their home base. It was his case reopened, or is it rumors? I wouldn't say it's rumors, but the case is still not disclosed fully. Does China still use gutter oil? Yeah, some parts still do. I don't understand. They killed him. Why don't they seem happy? Yet they still haven't let Yumalone's soul rest. Uh, Not so sure. There's some theories about this being a sacrificial pact that they had to make, but again, you know, how would you prove that, right? Did you watch the Taiwanese drama about the invasion of Taiwan? I did watch parts of it. Yeah, it's a very realistic approach and take on the situation. I heard the museum had caught fire. I didn't find any articles for that, so I'm not so sure. Netflix removed Yu's name. Actually, that's crazy. So yeah, they're definitely not making a documentary on it. Uh, Chat says if they're doing this to you, that means they're doing this to another actor right now. Probably, but I think you know, there are still some unique exceptions, right? If you are if you are a like A-lister in China, the chance of this happening to you is relatively low. Um, Meaning that like if something like you suddenly died, the impact is even greater than Yu Menglong. Yu Menglong wasn't a A-list actor; he was a B-lister. So it almost felt like to me that they didn't make him famous because his purpose wasn't to become a famous person. I said this before, right? Like the difference between Yu Menglong and Zhao Lusi. Zhao Lusi is Zhao Lusi was somebody that's also, if you follow this kind of drama stuff, somebody who's also very much in sort of a controversial situation herself because her talent agency had been abusing her and basically using her as sort of a money making machine, right? Which like in any talent agency, that's pretty much what the actors have to do. But the problem was like they were abusing her for it. Like they're saying that she was fat, that she couldn't land a leading role, and all these things. Uh, so you can see the difference between the two is that Zhao Lusi was like seen as a money making machine, right? So she wasn't really used as a toy, whereas Yu Menglong was basically used as a toy. His purpose wasn't to get famous and make money for the people in the company. His point was to be used as this like as bad as it sounds. I'm sure there's some CCP official or their offsprings who are into this idea of being with a celebrity, right? So if Yu Menglong was just some pretty boy from I don't know Beijing or something like that, to them they don't have the same appeal as to if this guy was a famous actor. It doesn't matter if he was like the most famous actor, but it had to be some level of difference, right? I think it's kind of a twisted way of thinking about it because if you think about what those people are into, it doesn't really kind of like I don't think it's too much of a conspiracy. And it makes sense because there were already rumors that Yu Menglong was getting shelved because he refused the approach of some rich woman in like 2020 or 2019. Yang Yang and many more were targets from this monster, but they escaped in time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who were targeted. If Yu was a woman, would it have been different? Would he have been protected? No. There are some girls who are also in this situation, much worse probably, because it's very common for girls who need to get famous to suffer through this in China. So it's definitely not just unique to the male actors. Coming from the same background, it's hard to say. Perfect way to look at it is how actors who have become famous speak out. Yeah, there's a lot of people who try to speak out, but you see the way that they talk, it's like they don't dare to say it, right? They know what's going on, but they don't dare to say it. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. He was in like a drama and the dude wanted to turn him into a doll. Um per Yeah, so Jones says, according to what I read, there were other agencies and famous stars wanted to protect him but couldn't. It's right because after they did Eternal Love, Yang Mi, who had her own company, wanted to buy out Yu Menglong and basically like protect him that way, but they wouldn't sell him. They wouldn't sell his contract. Was Yu kept from leaving China before this? Uh, he never really wanted to leave China. I don't think. Oh yeah, I did see the Jackson E one too. Some people even speculated that Jackson could be next. But dude, come on, like I remember like the last time I heard about Jackson E was like when he was I don't know, like 12 or something. So it's tough to see these people growing up in that environment. I'm sure that happens in Hollywood too. No, I don't think any roles would have changed him. I don't think that the point is he wasn't allowed to have those roles because the point is he wasn't allowed to become more famous so that he can escape. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna end the live stream here, and hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. We'll be back with more of these videos. And if you want to support the channel, consider checking out our membership. It's $2.99, and you become the insider of China Insider or the China Insider Insider. And so that way, if you want to support the channel, keep us going with more news on Alone or others, check out the membership. And you can receive exclusive little chat logos with Winnie the Pooh as Muso shows here on his chat. So um, I'm not affiliated with the China Observer channel at all. I'm I'm not really sure. Are you affiliated? Yeah, I'm not. No. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you just got here, sorry we finished. Usually I stream around before 12 most days. I would say anywhere between 10 to 11. So if you want to catch us then, we'll do regular streams, and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you very much. Sunday, I don't know if I can do a live stream tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll do one, but it will be on a different topic. Maybe I'll just release a video. Who knows?